They came to arrest me before sunrise. No charges, no warning, just quiet footsteps and dark suits. They thought it would be simple, that I'd be gone before the city even woke up. But this land is not ruled by fear, and I am not the kind of man you take in the dark. This isn't just about me. It's about how far they're willing to go to silence a voice, and how far a people will rise to protect it. This is the story of the day they came from Yand, found something they didn't expect. Resistance.
They thought he would fall. Instead, he made history. The city was still asleep when dark SUVs slipped past the presidential gates in Ouagadougou. No sirens, no announcements, just silence and purpose. President Ibrahim Traore was finishing his morning prayer when his defense minister approached quietly. He leaned in and whispered, "They didn't come to talk, sir. They came for you." That was the moment everything changed. The official reason for the visit? A diplomatic meeting, border discussions, trade cooperation, counter-terrorism talks. But hidden in one of the vehicles, buried inside a steel case, was a different truth. A covert order. Extract the president. Dead or alive. No court, no record, just erasure. The mission came from no declared nation, only from high places that feared what Traoré had become. Not just a leader, but a symbol. In less than a year, he had torn up exploitative military pacts, stood firm against foreign pressure, and returned real power to the people. His speeches were short, fiery, unapologetically African. From classrooms in Nigeria to military bases in Mali, his name began to circulate not as a politician, but as a movement. That's when the whispers started. He was too bold, too proud, too dangerous. And so, Operation Silence was born. They expected him to be unprepared, but what they didn't know was that Traoré had built something deeper than defense. She had built loyalty. Veterans from forgotten Sahel wars, Sankarist loyalists, young cyber operatives network reached through walls, into wires, across deserts. And when the plan was set in motion, they were already watching. The trap was not for Traoré. It was for those who still believed Africa could be controlled by backdoors and handshakes. That morning, as the palace filled with press and guests, the first sign of danger came quietly. A man in a dark suit leaned toward one of Traoré's aides. "His Excellency is needed for a private discussion." Polite, timed, tactical. Traoré nodded, handed off his notes, and walked away. His detail noticed the signs. 3 faces not on the diplomatic list, one with a concealed earpiece, another wearing a coat heavy enough to hide restraints. It wasn't raining. In the West Wing, 4 suited men waited. A briefcase sat unopened on the table. There were no translators, no photographers, no discussion. Just silence. Then came the soft metallic sound handcuffs being unfastened behind a back. That was all Traoré needed to hear. He smiled lightly. "Too much coffee," he said, and excused himself without resistance. Down a hall, past a side door, through a service tunnel. A note had already reached his hand. "Zida has eyes. Tunnel ready." Long ago, Thomas Sankara had ordered escape tunnels beneath the palace. They were quiet, invisible like the revolution itself. Traoré disappeared. By the time the agents returned to secure their target, he was gone. And they were exposed. Words spread fast. Encrypted texts turned into shouts. Students flooded the streets. Vendors locked up their stalls and joined the march. Taxi drivers blocked intersections. By midday, the city was on fire, not with chaos, but with unity. They tried to take him. They came for Traoré. The message lit the air. Inside the palace, the foreign operatives were now trapped. Their diplomatic cover evaporated. Their escape blocked not by orders but by ordinary people. Burkinabe soldier Sonse, neutral, quietly shifted their posture. No threats, just hands resting closer to triggers, a silent warning. We see you now. At 6 p.m., every channel went dark. Then the screen lit up. Traore sat at a long oak table. On one side, commanders from Mali and Guinea. On the other, students, farmers, elders. He spoke calmly, no anger in his voice, just clarity. They came for me today, not with dialogue, but with fear. I am here not because I ran, but because our people know the power they hold. He held up a red folder. The embassy seal still clung to the front. This document authorizes a mission me extraction. It calls me a threat. Not because I wage war, but because I speak of freedom. A student beside him leaned forward. We are not destabilizing Africa, he said. We are rebuilding it. No scripts, no edits, just a single camera broadcasting the truth. To the youth in Bamako, the students in Lagos, the mother in Niamey, Traore said, looking straight into the lens. This isn't about me. If they can come for one voice, they can come for all, but only if we stay silent. He smiled not from pride, but defiance. By nightfall, news networks across the globe were looping the footage. Diplomats scrambled. Government offices denied involvement. But on the streets, in lecture halls, and in military camps, a new phrase began to spread. Ouagadougou is not Abuja. This land does not kneel. And then the leak came. Documents, audio, confirmation. The mission had been greenlit by a shadow council. No official names, no accountability, just fear dressed as prevention. Embassies began pulling staff. Regional blocs condemned the attempt. International observers stood stunned. Traore didn't retaliate. He simply said, "We will not pursue legal charges. Africa must heal, not fracture." That night, over a quiet dinner, he met with generals from Mali, Chad, and Guinea. No press, no protocol, just a shared understanding. This was only the beginning. Maps were studied, networks reconnected, trust forged. Because what happened in Ouagadougou wasn't a failed operation. It was a signal, a reminder that Africa is watching. That power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply refuses to bow.